We're on. Right, good afternoon everybody. We're live from Telford again for the Rape of Britain 4 screening, which will be happening shortly. As some of you probably are aware, we always meet up first outside the Beefeater Premier in Telford by the station. So yeah, we're just waiting for the off, and then we'll get going. So if you're new to my channel or anybody else, please like, share. As I said, if you're new, please subscribe, show support, and let's hope today's a good one. If somebody in the chat or whatever, if you can just let me know what the footage is like, please, would be much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, hi, Hev. Yeah, thanks for joining us, babe. Nice to see you on here. Yeah, thanks for that. Brilliant stuff. It just took a bit of time setting up because I've not done it for a while, and the particular app that I use was just being a little tricky. Yeah, Anne West, thank you very much. Enjoying Tube 1. Thank you very much, as always. Sending all my blessings to you all. Thank you for joining us today. Please like, please share. As I said, if you're new to my channel or anybody's new to my channel joining, please subscribe. Thank you. I don't know where Tommy is yet. I've not seen Tommy yet myself. Maybe he's on his way. Maybe he's inside the pub. I don't know. But I will. Well, as soon as I know, yous will all know. No doubt he'll appear soon, because it's just after 1 o'clock now. Yeah, enjoying YouTube 1. Thank you very much. Much appreciated as always. Well, it goes without saying, Fev. You know, you're our not our master, but you're our mistress. You know, you're our governor and all that. So yeah. And I miss all the kisses and the flirtations between you and Shirley.
I can't prove or disprove what you just said, but isn't it possible?
Oh, right, okay, Mike, yeah, thank you for letting me know that. I thought he might be around, but like I say, I've only not long just got outside and set up, so we'll see what occurs like. Fev, you know, it's always tongues when Shirley gets involved in our threesome. What's the numbers like? Well, it's early days, but it's not too sad. I can't exactly count how many there are because there's others that are standing around down in the car park and down by the station, so I guess we'll get more of an idea as things start moving along. Yeah, for all those joining us today, thank you very much. Please like, share. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, thank you. Show your support. Tommy and Telford need you all. I will try and do my best to bring you the best footage today. I should be able to get in. I've been given permission to be back in by the stage and stuff to get exclusive footage, so yeah. I'll sort that out when it comes to it.
In all races, in all nationalities, and in all religions, what you have described.
Yeah, Fev, it don't look too bad. I mean, like I say, you know, there's probably a lot of people inside the boozer and that as well. There's Street Mike UK. Yeah, Witchfinder General, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yes, Fev. If I could, I would even send you a pair of my socks in the post. Even maybe if you're lucky, my underpants as well, like just to give you that kind of at home on a demo feeling, you know.
That's normal, sir. As I said, I'm just engaging with you, and it's important that I feel that everyone's agreeing with you, regardless of if I agree with it or not. Because it's
Yeah, Max. Max, it's a London thing. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm sure there's a lot of everybody that shares that opinion. Me especially, you know. Old Gummy's turned out to be a proper wrong 'un. That's all I need to say. But I'm not bringing a day down and thinking about cockroaches. Yeah, Fev, I mean, as you know, I mean, as you can probably see, there's still there's a fair bit of police presence around. You know, they're dotted about and everything, but they don't look as much in numbers as they normally do. There's one big fat one there. Oh. We've got the voice of Wales here, Richard Ingman. Hello, mate. Nice to meet you again. Sorry, I'll let you. Yeah. That was Richard Ingman, everyone. Yeah, Max in London or whatever. Yeah, I'll make you right there, bruv. Cheers. All I can do for the moment is just wander around a little bit, you know what I mean, until things start moving on. So there's not a great deal to see at the moment.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Hey, calm down. You alright, bruv?
Yeah, always thank you.
You alright?
You're doing market tomorrow?
Yeah. Huh?
Are you doing the market tomorrow?
Market tomorrow?
Yeah. With your dad?
Oh, no, not that. No. He wants to do another last one to get all his crap out of the way and that, but, you know, I said to him within the next month or so, like, because I'm a bit busy at the moment, you know what I mean? But he wants to,
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's alright, yeah, he just wants to get rid of his shit. Yeah, I'm fine, mate. I'm live at the minute, so there's not a lot happening at the moment until we get going, you know? Sorry?
Ginger Tony?
No, she... Oh yeah, no, she'd never miss this. She'd never miss this unless it was like important, urgent, you know what I mean? Well, there's Brexit Derek having a... Alright mate, I'll see you in a bit. Having a chinwag with Street Mike. Sorry.
So I'm now in front, or a person who is in front of me. Please introduce yourself, sir. Who are you?
I'm Derek. I'm here because this man is the only man that's got gall and guts to stand up to the systemic racism.
Yeah, my wee lassie.
Abuse, racist abuse
You alright, darling?
of our young girls.
But before we get on to that, you know I like you, and we know I engage with you all the time. What is with
She said that she's told everybody. I mean, Mark generally knows because they were probably
you bought
behind the scenes. I've not. He's supposed to be. I've not seen him. No.
She left him in the room, but nobody's seen him.
Yeah, he'll probably be around. I mean, I've heard that Tommy's inside England. So Mark must be.
But as normal, I love you.
They must be around somewhere.
In this
Oh well, we'll try and keep an eye out for him. But
The trains are smiling.
yeah.
And why it was
I mean, like, some of them apparently have been told, like, you know, that I'm allowed behind the stage, like, in the stage area to film up close and all that. 'Cause Mark, if in case anybody else wasn't sure, Mark was going to let them know, and Tony was that she ain't here. But she said that she had told some of the stewards or whatever, so I don't know who she's told.
why it's important as
that car's like normal
to see if there's anything going on, because I believe Mr. Robinson might be coming out. Because I can see activities going on behind you. So why was
Papa just came up to me and said, we're going to leave at half past, the deadline's quarter past, or you'll be getting a section 12. So I told Tommy, he went to Telford. But then they've come over again, they've said it again, so he's went and hurried up his meal, he says, right, we'll just see this.
We'll see anyway.
We become such a fuss so that the police are forced to do the job. We pay their wages through our tax. The police are paid by
Yeah, Witchfinder General, Nobby, the little veteran, is about, well, he's not here, but he was on Active Patriot stream the other night, I think. They was talking amongst them and a few others. They were talking about them and going to that demo on the 24th. Here's Tommy.
So, Mr. Robinson, Wendell Daniel from Street Mike, and as normal, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you outside of the beefy. How are you feeling, sir?
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah?
Full. I just had a burger and chips.
So where's mine?
Where's yours?
Yeah, where's my burger and chips?
It was rubbish, man. It was really terrible.
Listen, I know you're going to be very busy today, so I'm going to be quick, yeah? Tell me about part 4 and what is going to be disclosed today.
Part 4 is about called Ahmed Nawaz. Ahmed Nawaz murdered a 13-year-old child in his town. And then he didn't get charged for anything to do with the rapes he was doing to her. And then he come out of jail and he continued his rapes. So you'll hear from 2 girls today. They'll tell the stories of what he'd done. And he's got away with it. He runs a restaurant in this town. These men have murdered kids. They've raped, terrorised kids, and they're running restaurants in this town. The police know it. Everyone knows it. They're not getting done.
But why do you think the great police force of this country are not doing nothing?
The great police force of this country.
Fucking hell, this is stand-up.
In this town, they've been working with the gangs. You've seen corruption at the highest level. They have facilitated the rape of 1,000 children in this town. And they don't care. They generally don't care. And who runs this town? The Muslim gangs. There's only 1.7% Muslims in this town. And they run it. They have everyone in fear, including the police.
When you were here on May the 7th, you unveiled part 2. And at the end, one thing you said was that you had evidence and information that you was going to share with the police. What has become of that?
Nothing. The police, so you understand, there's other victims who are in positions where they want to work with the police. The police have refused to meet, as have the MPs. I've tried to facilitate meetings for girls who are stuck as modern-day slaves, being entrapped, selling drugs, being raped. The police won't even facilitate. They're not interested. But we're then going on to episode 5 and episode 6, and the head of this council. We're going to bring down the head of this council.
Are they involved?
We've already got him. The head of this council, there's allegations of sexual assault against minors from him. We have recordings of them, and they're all at him. So, I don't care.
But my final question, let's talk about London. And let's talk about Speaker's Corner and also about the Football Lads Alliance. Will the Football Lads Alliance be coming to London?
I hope they are on the 24th of September, isn't it?
Will you be there?
No, I'm not here on the 24th of September. But I hope it's needed. This immigration that's happened to this country, you've got 1,000 men coming in, I've been looking at the Pew Research of them, how they think men who come from Pakistan, Afghanistan, their views. It's not going to work. And literally 75,000 have come in the last 2 years. That's as many as British Armed Forces. And they're put up in 4-star hotels.
And definitely the final question. Let's talk about Speaker's Corner. I asked you last
His
time.
fault, not mine.
Sorry, I asked you about Speaker's Corner. I know they want to go, but are you going to be coming to Speaker's Corner because Ali Darwa has called you a chicken, and I said to him, I will speak to you. But will you be coming to Speaker's Corner in London? Yes or no? Talk to Ali Darwa.
Ali, you're irrelevant, and you want to have sex with kids.
Yes, Tommy.
And Ali, if you ever want a charity fight, I'll punch your head across.
Much love, brother.
Tommy.
Can I leave that on you? Can I leave that on you so I can capture everything?
Right, where's the police?
We're here.
Where's the copper? No, yes.
Yeah, we know. We're
Love the hat, Tommy!
That's not my fault, that.
He must be on the
Tommy, Tommy! Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson! Oh, Tommy, Tommy! Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson!
Sorry, I'm just going to get round the front. Sorry.
You should have got that, you should have got that. I'm getting all the ramp guys. Yeah, I've got the ramp, yeah.
Hey, look.
He's not very well Donald Trump's here. He's not very well camouflaged.
Smaller than me.
Yeah, but
Is he?
Stumpy's at the top there.
Hey? Stumpy.
He's the most well-dressed suicide bomber in history.
Oh, mate.
Hey?
Fucking small as people.
How are you?
Got the rentals in.
You all right, Tommy? Nice to see you again, bruv. Yeah, sweet.
We've got a bag. Yeah, we've got a bag. Sean.
Lads, I don't think he's going to do anything. There's nothing to worry about, lads.
Just want to come back from that. Yeah. To be fair, who sits there like that anyway?
What do you reckon, lads?
Yeah, it's looking good for the back behind now. But there's loads of comments on Gator saying he's not speaks to only week.
Yeah, because the coaches the train there's a problem. Telford shit town come from train
I was saying last night, I don't know why, I didn't think about it. You want someone to
Yeah,
you think that he's
no.
mad. You think people would be out.
It's me. Mama. Mate, we're over to the train station.
Really bomb. Legalise free.
Slow down, lads. Slow down, people. You alright? What's in your pocket? What's in your pocket?
We left at half one.
You know, kind of watch behind us, like, you know what I mean?
So, this is a good episode. I didn't finish it for free.
Hello.
Or who needs a gym when you're walking backwards? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. Be alright.
Yes. My name's Sam. I'm a small angry man.
You're coming your car then? Wow. You don't have to.
Last night, I don't know what happened. Oh, last night, I was playing through the world's Yeah. I picked up Tommy. I was just throwing it up and down. Yeah, it was good, mate. Road and walk on that side, gents. Just out across the road on that side, please. Just watch yourself in the road. Back.
Yeah,
Go on, if you want to walk in the road, boys.
Yeah.
You need to be jaywalking.
Huh? Yeah. May as well make more stuff.
So, there is currently a live piece of investigation to lead up to Telford Council. It's breaking news. Because the leader of Telford Council, there are allegations that he's been involved in sexual assault against men and children in the council offices. There are allegations that come from covert recordings that we took and are being handed to the police. So, Sean Davies. Sean, like, sexual assault against, and there's also allegations, sexual assault has come from employees within the council who have been covertly recorded. He sexually assaulted a male, and he sexually assaulted his little sister, and she was on work experience. He's the leader of the council. So,
Unbelievable.
and the police are now, thankfully, doing a police investigation, a live police investigation.
Because of what you...
Yeah, because they're being handed on Tuesday. They've got a meeting with witnesses to handle the recordings. The allegations against it. Tommy! 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, watching from North Cyprus. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, please like, share, everybody. Show support. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you. We're live in Telford for the Rape of Britain 4.
Apart from the gym.
This is my legs day walking back like this. No, I ain't got time to do it. Yeah.
Only once or twice.
It's a workout walking backwards like this.
Oh, nightmare. Was your stream?
Huh? It's all right. Yeah, I'm using Prism Live through.
Right.
It's a different app. Because YouTube itself comes out shit and all that.
Right.
Sometimes pixelated and whatever signal problems. But with this Prism Live, PRISM Live, it's a black symbol thing, the app, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Spot on, pretty clear. Yeah.
Have a look. As you go.
Yeah, check it out if you remember later.
Other normal people walking the dog.
Jules. Jules. Did
Just tell me to get him going.
yeah. I was saying, did Tony tell you to make sure to get him where the stage area is to film? Yeah. I know, shit. I was in there last time, like, they all said it'd be alright, I could see Mark, but I didn't see Mark about it.
Are you on YouTube?
What's your name? Crusader. Patriotic Crusader, yeah. 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 It'll all be on there. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, in case anybody don't know what's happening right now, we're just making our way from the meeting point where everybody was meeting, and we're making our way to where the stage etc. is, where there will be the screening of the documentary Rape of Britain 4. We'll be there shortly.
I was going to wear my front back. My missus is front too. Yeah. I was going to wear that. I was going to wear my one. Yeah, my missus lives in confrontation, but she's just got a 60.
No, I don't think they are. Because of the signal quality behind the signal quality issue.
Taking a right at the zebra
We didn't even know.
You were doing house opposite over there, we were doing having them inside the house and all that shit. Yeah. That's an exception. Go on, Tommy, lad.
I don't know where it is, yeah. I just agreed it last minute. They wouldn't let us. They said they were sticking us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Freedom Fighter, yeah, thank you very much for the feedback on my stream. Sorry everybody, I'll try and catch up with comments etc. shortly. Just busy obviously filming this and walking backwards with one shoelace undone.
Yeah, I'll show you. The man today, I mean, he murdered 13-year-old child. 15 months in jail. They didn't even investigate. We showed today the motive of why he done it.
Yeah.
And they just said it was a road traffic accident. That's all they done. Do you know the first thing the police officer said? Went to the mum's house just after a 30-year-old daughter had been murdered. And said, we can't make this about race. Well, it was about race. Everything's about race. These girls have been racially targeted. But we can't make it about race. They are more bothered about cultural sensitivities than they are protecting kids. And after he murdered that 13-year-old and he wasn't prosecuted for it, he got 15 months in jail. He then come back out of jail and continued raping and destroying lives. You'll hear today on this film, the girl went to kill herself, yeah? On the footage. She goes to his house to kill herself. We convinced her not to on the phone. She's up there outside his house. Kill herself. She said, I'm just going to end it. My life's dead anyway. Every time she has a new sexual relationship, she has flashbacks on them. They destroy their life 20 years long. And that's the point, it's the destruction that they can afford. And they're all swanning around running restaurants in their town. They're running restaurants in their town.
You're right, mate. I've been told I'm allowed in there to film as well. Yeah, because Tony.
Going up and round, please. Round, cheers.
Any idea where the stewarding vests are? Steward's vest.
No idea, sorry.
No. Same way as
All the way round, please. All the way round.
Julie's down there, she's part of the sauces.
Oh, you're getting that. Should I do rather than him? All he ever does is wind me up and he's got pissed me. Keep going round to the left, please, so everyone can get in.
Yeah, Adrad, I'll make you right on that. There should be more numbers.
Yes, sort that out.
You alright, bro?
My eyes upon the prize and watching anybody else. But your love, it hit me hard, girl. Yeah, you're back for my health. I love the cars that I've been down. Do you feel the same? You know I used to be Monday now.
You alright, bro? No, it's just like last one. I was in there behind on the last one. The Mark, the big Mark, I don't know where he is. But if it's Tony, that was I'll be here in a minute.
Come and strip that down for me, baby. There's a lot of people in the crowd, but you can dance with me. So put your hands on my body and swing it down for me. You know I love it when the music's loud. Come and strip that down for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met you, yeah, you swept me off my feet. You know that I don't need no money.
Yeah, Brett Norman, thank you for joining us from down under. Much appreciated. As I said, everyone, please like, share, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.
So put your hands on my body and swing that round for me. You know I love it when the music's loud. Come on, swing that down for me. extra dough. There's a lot of people in the crowd, but only you can dance with me. So put your hands on my body and swing that round for me. Baby, you know I love it when the music's loud, but come and strip that down for me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I apologise about my camera bouncing about everyone at the moment. I'm just trying to get organised with a few things.
We got the world in our hands and we're ready to play. They say we're wasted, but how can we waste it for nothing every day?
Where's your face? London. Yeah. I'm on it. What's your name? Carry on.
Well, good afternoon everybody and welcome to episode 4 of The Rape of Britain. These films have taken blood, sweat and tears, but we have got a film to show you that will pull at every single heartstring in this crowd this afternoon, and hopefully it will reverberate not just around the United Kingdom, not just around Europe, but around the whole world as Tommy Robinson tells the story of the rape of Britain. And we talk to survivors in this film. And the survivors and the victims, and when I say victims, I'm not talking about people that are alive. I'm talking about girls that have been murdered by Pakistani Muslim rape gangs. That has happened. We know it's happened. And we need to make sure that it never, ever happens again. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what these films are about. Becky Watson, she was a child. How many people in this crowd have a child under 16 years of age? I want to ask a question. I want to make it personal. I want to make it personal to you. And I want to ask, what would you do and how would you feel if you got that phone call that your daughter had been killed by a man that was old enough to know a lot better? How would you feel? How would you feel in your heart? What would it do to you? It would destroy you. It would destroy your family. This film is dedicated to the memory of Becky Watson, and I want to give a massive round of applause to that child, 13 years old. But also I want to say a couple of things here today. As you can see, there's not a massive crowd of people here today. That's sad. And I want to ask, I'm going to put a challenge out. And I want to put a challenge out to the football community, and many people here are part of that community. We're in the Midlands. Where are the football lads from Shrewsbury? Where are the football lads from Birmingham City? Where are the football lads from Aston Villa? This crowd should be 20, 30,000 strong. There's no excuse for not being here. If you're washing your hair, stop washing your hair, because most of you don't have any. Get to the demonstrations. Miss football 2 or 3 times. Yes, I see you, brother. Miss football 2 or 3 times a year and come to these demonstrations and stand for the daughters of England. And I want to address this crowd, because you have made the effort, you have sacrificed, and I know times are hard. It costs all of us money to come here and do these things. Anyone that's been involved in the making of these films, it has cost us thousands and thousands of pounds.
We have volunteered to do it. We've done it of our own free will and our own volition. And so have you. You have paid the price. You have paid the price. And many of you have lost jobs. Many of you, your finances have been affected. Many of you, your families have been affected. People have fallen out with you. People don't talk to you anymore. Well, do you remember when there was those protests a few years ago by that crowd? I can't even remember what they were called. But they coined a catchphrase, silence is violence. That's the one thing they got right. If we stay silent on this, the violence against the daughters of England continues. We cannot stay silent, and we will not stay silent. And to that Labour politician that a few years ago said that survivors of these gangs need to shut up for the sake of diversity. We're never going to shut up for the sake of your diversity. We're going to keep going and going and going until the authorities sort this problem out. And I want to say something here about Tommy. And we're talking about paying the price. That man has paid the price more than any of us for this situation. Tommy Robinson. Isn't there a chat with that? Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson has not just paid the price, he has stood the test of time. He is the man. Without Tommy Robinson, these films would never have been made. It's as simple as that. He is the driving force. He is the motivator. He might be the most hated man in the United Kingdom, but he's the most loved man in this crowd. Give it up for Tommy Robinson.
I want to thank you all for coming. Is it working? Yeah. I'm disappointed, if I'm honest, because people should be coming out to see the story of these girls. You see, there was a journalist, was her name Sonia, this week, who condemned me for highlighting the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs. She said I do it out of racism without a care for the girls. That journalist still would not have courage to talk about it if it wasn't for the people who joined the English Defence League to push this issue to the British public. And they only feel that they can talk about it whilst they hammer us. So they have to condemn us as the big bad bogeymen so that they are free to even speak about this issue. You're going to see in this story, there is a gentleman called Ahmed Nawaz. Ahmed Nawaz murdered a 13-year-old child. The police didn't even investigate the motive for why he done it. You're going to hear tonight from witness accounts his motive for why. They said it was a prank went wrong. It wasn't a prank that went wrong. He actively targeted her because he was angry with her and he murdered her. What did the Telford Chief of Police, the first thing when he knocked on that mother's door who had a 13-year-old daughter taken from her, the first thing he said, we can't make this about race. It is about race. It's all about race. They have actively targeted white girls, not Muslim girls. Every one of them say it in their descriptions whilst they're raping them. If the police would have done their job in this documentary, you're going to see that after murdering a 13-year-old girl, he spent 15 months in jail. Shame on them! Shame on them! Hello? He spent 15 months in jail. They didn't even investigate him for his rapes. When he come out of jail, he goes on to destroy another girl's life. That girl would not have had to go through the destruction you're going to hear in this story. She tried to kill herself live on the footage. She went to kill herself. 20 years on. That could have been prevented if the police done their job. This, and Ahmed Nawaz, when you're telling these stories, these men must be brought to justice. I see we've got some opposition coming in here. They've all got blue hair. They are here. They are here. Ignore them though, don't go over there. But they are here. We are showing a film that tells the story of women who have been tortured, murdered and raped. And these scumbags have the audacity to turn up and oppose it.
And the police allow them!
And the police let them every time, they're in bed with them. We also, breaking news. Telford Police, which isn't that confident, is Telford Police. There is a live investigation into the leader of this council through covert recordings that we've produced with allegations of sexual assault against minors in the council building and also against males. So Sean Davies, I'll let the film do the talking. Do you know this film? This didn't get finished till 3 o'clock in the morning because we didn't have the footage because the man who had it had gone away. We thought it was on the thing, so it went in at 3 o'clock this morning. It's a good film, so I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.
Tell me how the enemies cows that we're beefing. All their death threats, but we're still breathing. When we catch one and then we got
I kept saying like, what am I gonna do, man?
round here, I might show you with a men round here. Give a fuck about your friends round here. Getting dragged out your pens round here. When it goes down, sides get taken. It reveals who's real and who's faking. Beef comes up.
We're supplying them with 40 years worth of information. 40 years?
Names come in the media, Mohammed, Abdullah, whatever they are, all these Muslim names.
And she said she'd been raped.
We have serious allegations from children who say that you were involved in the rape and prostitution of them, that you were a kingpin and had them trafficked.
Listen, don't join these, I'm going to let them smash the fucking bacon to the end. You don't really want trouble, mate.
Sorry, that's alright.
Let me call him.
I can't beat you. I'm a bit of that. Don't do anything stupid, No, I'm actually in Manchester. Yeah, they are. Oh yeah. You just fucking hell. Where am I? In Telford? Don't do anything stupid. Seriously. Don't. I don't. What's that? No, mate, no. I just think, no. Is your dad nearby? No. Do you want us to come pick you up? Yeah. Go on.
So how many of you today did pubic embarrassment and illiterate clowning give orders to come and try and troll my channel and make up the numbers? It's really embarrassing.
I'm just gonna kill myself actually. I'm just gonna sit outside here. And I'm just gonna kill myself because I thought like, you know what? I've got no life. I've got no life ahead of me, like I've got nothing except more issues, like more mental health issues, like more fucking relationship issues. I've got fucking anything else except more shit. So Because at least people won't fucking blame it on something else. You know, at least people will fucking know why I did it.
Lauren, why don't see, as I said, I could drive there in an hour, you could drive to me in an hour. Why don't you just come to where I am? And you don't, they win then again. Do you know what I mean? They win then again.
I think they already won though. They already won. You know, we were trying to figure out what I could compare rate to, so that other people can like have something that like, so they know how it feels. Yeah, but there is fucking nothing that compares to rape. The only thing that compares to rape is torture. So the only other people, apart from other rape victims, the only other people who can identify with it is fucking people who are victims of torture. That's the only thing I can think of to compare it to. And that's the reason it's fucking illegal. There's nothing to compare it to. And that's why it's so fucking wrong. And they can't be that. They fucking kill me anyway.
Carry on, dickheads. Carry on building my algorithm and my views.
Well, oh man, please don't do anything.
Joe Smith, the only fool is you.
Just come here, I'll come pick you up. We can drive you and
whatever.
Let's just talk, because they do win. They win because the potential. I don't even know what to say to you, because I know what they've done, and I can't even imagine how you must feel. I just know that people who love you ain't going to want you to kill yourself or him. And if there's any way of getting you help, I'll help get you whatever help you need. Yeah.
No doubt half of the trolls that are in the comment section opposing all this are obviously not sympathisers or not themselves. It stands to reason.
I don't know. I don't really feel like being saved, to be honest.
How far is your mum and dad? How far is your mum and dad live from where you are?
My mum is
come up here. We've got empty bedrooms. We're in a 5-bedroom house. There's an empty bedroom. You're welcome to come and stay here. We'll talk. We just had a shit curry. If you.
Oh no, you can't have a shit curry.
It was.
You can't do that. Did you make it? No. If you bought it from somewhere, you're a fool.
Come here and make us a curry then.
No, I can't make one.
No.
If you buy a shit curry, then fuck knows what they put in it.
Yeah.
If they don't make it with love, then they're probably making shit.
Yeah. Alright, well, why don't you just come up here, babe? And then just, I can't believe you're in Telford either. But come up here. Only an hour. We're here. You can see what we're doing. We're actually here, sat around the table with pictures of all these bastards. I don't know if that's going to fucking throw your head even more, but we're actually just sat here with massive sheets everywhere of who they are, how they're linked. But babe, honestly, they do win. You're another victim then in their fucking murderous spree. So please don't do anything. Because fucking hell, man. As soon as I heard that voicemail, I was like, what's right? Oh, I dropped. But you're totally welcome to come here.
You're just going to wind me up with the maps.
Yeah, I'll put them away. Not about. You don't have to look at them. We've just had it here through discussing work. So I'll put them away. Just come up here.
I can't even ask the people. I don't even know. I fucking escape really early on.
No, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Don't worry about that. As I said, it doesn't matter if you never want to talk to me or you don't want to participate in this documentary or anything. None of that matters, yeah? So come here, you don't even have to talk about it. I don't give a shit. We've got a pool table here and a bar in this house. It's a beautiful house. But you're welcome to just come up here, mate. And
Just take your chill, man. Take it. It's right there. Oh, mate, I'll send you the location, yeah? I think it's now, really. Telford's out for you. I think it's out for you, mate. Yeah?
Yeah, Joe, not half as much as we're all laughing.
Promise me, and that's what you're doing, and you're just going to help it. And not do anything stupid. Don't leave me without. I have enough fucking shit in my head at all. So just come up here.
I know.
Yeah, Farmer Dave. Well, I don't have moderators at the moment, so
story of my life.
one can only do what one can.
So my magnet.
Kids that like never got it out of your system.
I said, I always said, I used to shit stay on the school playground. I've just gone to a fucking international level. Alright, come up, are you coming up then, yeah?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Super. Alright, so see you in a bit. I'll send you a location down. Do you want me to do live location via WhatsApp?
Actually, in bed with Hogan Payne.
Alright, Sam, I'll do that now.
That's our pubic and clown.
Message me on WhatsApp then, yeah? And then I'll send you it. Yeah? Alright, see you in a bit. Bye-bye. So I was tracking down victims and following the Telford story. And I saw a girl online making comments about wanting to kill the men who had raped her and abused her. And it all come to a head because one of them was just getting released. So she's obviously read it and made comments saying how it's destroyed her again. Now reading this, it's brought it all back, and she wants to murder him. So I tracked her down, I found out where she was. I not went to see her. She answered the door. What are you doing here? I said, explain, I've just read your messages. I want to find a better way for you to expose these men and try and tell you not to do anything stupid. And then we had a nice meeting where we sat in the back of the car for about 3 hours, just talking through. We've come up here, we're in North England now, to get sat together for a month to go through the documentary. And I messaged her, and this is how that's mad. But I messaged her saying, hi Lauren, how are you? Any thoughts on about us getting together? And literally, not sure we'll get a chance to do it in person after today. I've then played the voiceover from her.
Hi Stephen. So I don't know if I'm going to be available after today. As you were texting me, I was on my way up, and I'm here now. So I'm just sitting outside somebody's house.
After reading her messages, then it's like, she said someone in the house, she should kill him. So, we rang her, and then madly, because she sent me a live location, she wasn't parked in Telford. But you see all the years later, look at their lives. Look at her life. And then she's gone on to, okay, I won't kill him, I won't kill myself.
Should I be worried?
She is now, see where she is, a live location. So, okay, she's on her way. She wasn't just sat there, she was in Wentford, the Muslim area of Telford. That's on her way here, son.
She's an extraordinary woman. A woman whose life was destroyed by these men when she was just a girl. She's written an amazing book sharing her experience. It's called No Way Out by Kate Alicia. You can buy it on Amazon. Please go and buy it. And what you'll find when you read it is that one of her abusers was a man called Ahmed Nawaz. Ahmed Nawaz. Now I want to go back to our interview with the survivor from episode 2 and pick up the story of another girl.
Jamie, another one with a big mouth, who's got a lot to say.
Yeah, because I've seen
not a lot to say, should I
Becky,
say, saying it too
you was a
loud.
friend of Becky Watson.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about Becky?
Another cockroach that should be stamped on.
We lived near each other. This one day in particular she got missing and we was all looking for her. She was drunk on the park. Some Asian lads had bought her some cider. So she got drunk and when she got back home, her mum asked me and another girl if we watch her while she went shopping.
Oh, Joe Smith, you can count. Have you got your big ass calculator there with the big fat buttons?
At 10. And she's just sat in the chair.
You must follow
opposite me,
Clowny.
you know, like we are now. I didn't say one word. My other mate was having a go at her, saying, that basically disgusted me for drinking and giving her like a hard time. But I didn't say a word. I just sat there and I just watched her. And you know when you look in someone's eyes and stuff, and you can just see through their eyes. And she reminded me of me. But when, yeah. I just knew something wasn't right. I could just see. And then after that, she went upstairs and she wouldn't let like our friend in. So I started speaking to her, and she told me that I would she just started to get involved with Asian men and stuff like that. She started to get a bit like out of control.
She was involved with men at the age of 10. When you say involved, what do you mean?
She just started to hang around with them. She hadn't done anything then. She was just hanging around with them. And I started to buy a drink, just started to get into talking to her. And it was like not long after that, I'd been on deliveries.
Yeah, Joe Smith, I'm glad you know my surname. It's a pity you're not here to come and say it to my face, isn't it?
And my mate,
absolute mug.
came with us.
I don't care who you are or where you are.
And he just dropped us off. Well, we just got home, and he's in my bedroom, and I got a phone call off Becky, like 1, 2 o'clock that morning, and she sounded wasted, and she said, "Hey, guess what? I've just lost my virginity." And my words was, "You better
Yeah,
fucking
Farmer,
off."
no disrespect, mate, but I don't usually mod anybody that I'm not too familiar with or don't know. Until I get to trust somebody, then yeah, I'll make you a mod, so no offence, mate.
When she lost her virginity?
She's nearly 11.
So do you know who Becky lost her virginity to?
Keith.
When you say Keith?
Shazir's dad.
Shazir's dad. This is Asian Keith.
Who had the climate surgeries.
Tell me about what you know of Asian Keith then. Did you ever meet Asian Keith?
Yeah. I was from around the area. And also I knew his family, so I went to school with his like nieces and stuff, and his nephew. We all knew what he was up to, but I didn't know the details until Becky told me.
And what was he up to?
He was selling girls.
Oh, these comments are cracking me up. You're all so pathetic.
She said that
just little cockroaches.
And they was paying like £200
Sad
each time.
lefty, hope not hate trolls. I really am pissing myself laughing looking at these comments. If you think that you're bothering me in any way, you're highly mistaken.
He was pimping young children.
Just carry on.
Did you ever
It builds
have
my
any
views and builds my numbers, builds the algorithm, blah 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 blah. I don't need to tell you that, but then you are all thick as shit.
Who are you yapping to?
Tell me about what about Becky
on there,
Watson.
like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of trolls give
Wow,
views of one thing or another.
Yeah, it was a bit bad. Obviously, I started meeting her from school and things like that. So she did start hanging around with a few other girls her age.
Yeah, English Bulldog. Did you hear me say Nazis? I said lefties.
As time went on, I don't think how old I was. I think I was 16. Yeah, she had just turned. I don't remember. I think she just turned 11.
Anyway, carry on yapping amongst yourselves. I've got more important issues and things to deal with here. Like the great episode 4 of Rape of Britain.
I was there with Jibby, who was drinking, and he was waiting for Munchie to finish work. And I got a text on my phone off Becky saying how. So I said to her, "Where are you?" And she said, "We're at the house," but she showed me this house near the weekend. like a few days before. So I just ran there, I don't even know how I got there, I just ran there. And if you go like round the back of this house, there's like a gate.
Yeah, Pablo John, how about I tell you what I did to your mum?
And then into the kitchen. And as I walked into the kitchen, straight in front of me, there's like a front room. And yeah, that's when I saw what was happening to her.
What was happening?
She was being raped by my friend. Kind of like, it was like a mat on the floor. She was just lying on the floor.
And who was raping her?
I don't know who he was. It was just this.
Yeah, Crackerjack agent, but you want to know what I did to your missus instead?
Really dark, obviously dark hair, but it was like quite thick on top. And he had a really deep voice.
Was he on his own in there?
Yeah.
What happened then?
I was just screaming to get off there. And then he just turned around, he turned his head back to me, because I was like, back over to the side, like that, with like a really deep voice. And I panicked and I just ran into the kitchen, and I got a knife and stabbed him in the back.
Yeah, English Bulldog with, well...
And then I just screamed at Becky to run.
What can I say? With a troglodyte for a mother, I'm not surprised.
And I phoned a couple of lads I know from Birmingham, so I just thought we needed to get out of Telford. And I asked if they could come and get us, and they come and picked us up. And they took us to Birmingham. But then Keith was ringing Becky up, going mad, and said that I'd killed the man. So then, obviously I got scared and got into jail and things. And Becky said she'd take the blame because she was younger. I said no way. And then it's silly what you perform like a ceremony thing where you slash your hands and rub them together and you become blood sisters. And then after that night, it was just us two. So like a few months later after that, I something in my head just so I wanted to go back to the house. But we went the front way, not the back way. There's like a grass bit and a tree, and we was there watching the house. And all I saw was Keith and that man and two girls walking in.
Keith?
Yeah, except for the lefty trolls and Tommy haters, etc. Blah 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 blah.
We didn't do what he said.
Please like, share, show your support if you're new to my channel. Please subscribe, more the merrier. Thank you.
Yeah, you used to do whatever you wanted because you were
scared. It makes up the numbers.
But I said that Becky wasn't doing nothing, I'd do it all. And then some men would say that they wanted Becky because she was younger and fresher. And then I'd just have to turn around and say, yeah, but I'm more experienced, take me.
And Asian Keith's now... Where is he now?
He's dead.
He's dead. Do you know if he ever faced any justice?
No.
Becky Watson, raped by Asian Keith when she was 10, or maybe when she was 12. We've been given different accounts. She was passed around between men, raped at knife point. Asian Keith died in 2015, aged 61, without ever facing justice. What happened next to Becky? Becky was killed by a man called Ahmed Nawaz.
Or else they're just
Tell me
plain
what
scum.
happened.
So
How did Becky die?
I ain't really got a lot else to say about that.
She rang me. I was at home giving my mum a massage, and she rang me up one night and she said that her mum had hid the fags. So can I bring her a fag? And I said, yeah, I'll be about 15-20 minutes. So I went down to she said to meet me at the youth club on Martin Drive, Brooklands. So I went down there, and as I got there, just literally got there, Ahmed Nawaz pulled up in his car, and the youth worker, one night I was remembering, she was stood there, and then I just put my back away to Ahmed, and I said to her, don't let me go over, keep me here. She was like, alright, but she was like looking over my head at Becky and another girl called Kerry talking to him. And then all of a sudden, all I heard was Becky say, he said something like, you're not having your phone back, and he took her phone off her. And then she got on the car bonnet, like sat sideways, and she said, oh, you're not going then. And then that's when I started looking, thinking, what's happening, what's going on. And then all of a sudden he started revving his car, trying to like scare her. And then he drove off with her on the car. But it's like, when you're looking up, it's like on a bend, and I just kept thinking, nah, she's gonna walk in a way, and I see her coming back. But as Becky was driving off, she was trying to like grab onto the bonnet, somewhere to hold. And she just, all I got is that image of the head of her looking at me, you know, like saying my name. And you know, as it goes off in the distance, and we can't hear. And then next thing I know, all I saw was blue flashing lights. Like from, you know, in the distance, and I just ran there. And all I saw was Becky on the floor, and then Ahmed was leaning over. And then I got a lift to the hospital, and I went there, and that's how we got told that she was brain dead.
She was 13.
And then after that night, I went missing all that night.
Yeah, Michelle, every great live stream, every great YouTuber that's out there, that's telling the truth, or showing the truth, should I say, always attracts the illiterate cockroach trolls. It's part of the parcel, really, and it's quite fun sometimes.
Well, I didn't know who else to ring or where to go. I was trying to ring everyone in my phone book because I didn't want to go home. And then I rang up for a taxi, but Amy answered the phone. That was Bugsy's taxi firm at the time.
Bugsy had a taxi firm?
Yeah, I think it was called Fast 9 or something back then.
And then what happened?
She got someone to come and pick up, I can't remember if it was him, or some taxi, because I wasn't with it at the time. She got her driver to come and pick me up and brought me to the office to her. And then when she finished work, she took me back to her house.
Yeah, English Bulldog, if you call the trolls truth tellers.
The next morning, the police picked me up from there and took me home.
Completely lost me.
Now, Ahmed Nawaz was charged with manslaughter, but pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving. He got 3 years for killing Becky. He was out of jail in 15 months. It was reported as a prank gone wrong. But was it? Was it death by dangerous driving? You see, the background to her tragic killing is very important.
And then going out with Imran at the time, but then she started seeing Ahmed behind Imran's back. But we didn't know this at first. And then one night Ahmed had picked me and Becky up when he was walking. He said he'd give us a lift home, but he didn't take us home, he took us up the weekend.
What happened on the weekend?
He said that I had to sleep with him, so we couldn't go home. But I said, I'm not doing it, she's here. Becky's here. So then he made her lie on the floor with a coat over her head, in the back, and then went off. And I had to have sex with him, but while that was happening, the police come.
The police come whilst you was having sex with her on the weekend?
And I just literally, we jumped up and started walking, and then they checked all in the car, but they couldn't see anyone because she was on the floor. And then after that, I told what happened because I didn't know that she was sleeping with him. She was still with him then. And then this one night, we got the phone call. Me and Becky was at mine and dad. And we got a phone call. They wanted me to go to the bottom of the street. And then Becky was like, you're not going on your own. And I said, I'll be fine. So I went to the bottom of the street and he was like, get in the car now. So I sat in the front and Becky got in the back with Michelle and Sam. And he drove to the Brooklands, to the back of the shops in the car park. And he went, get out now. So I got out and I thought, he's going to beat me up or something now. And he pushed me against the wall. was like in front of me, and he just grabbed me by my head and threw me onto my knees. And then he basically stuck his penis in my mouth and wouldn't let go of me. And then when he finished, he was still wouldn't let me go, and then he weed in my mouth. And then I just by out being sick. And he just got up and walked off and goes, get in the car. So I just like walked back in the car, and as I was getting in the car, Michelle went to him, did you do it? And then like really serious face, like evil. So like he was still angry. And then all of a sudden he burst out laughing and went, yeah. And then she was laughing as well.
How old was
Same age as me.
So he ejaculated in your mouth and then urinated in your mouth?
Yeah. Because we were told like what happened up the weekend.
As a punishment?
Yeah. But then it got worse as well after that because we found out then that night obviously because he was with Michelle in the car. We found out then that them two were sleeping together. So then Becky went and told him around because she was really good friends with him. And they were like best friends, like brothers. So he got upset because he really didn't like Michelle. So then Ahmed was after Becky then, that's why he pulled up at the...
That's why he pulled up that day at the youth club?
Yeah.
Because she told him about him taking around raping you? Because she told him that?
No, it's because she had told Imran that Michelle was cheating on him with Ahmed.
Okay, so Becky told Imran that Michelle was cheating on him with Ahmed.
And about what happened with you.
About what happened with you, and that's why he pulled up at the youth club that day. That's why she's dead. Okay. Where's Ahmed Nawaz now?
Yeah, that's right.
Ahmed Nawaz
Tommy's
killed Becky
DNA
Watson
is like
when he was angry that she had told his best friend Imran that Ahmed was having sex with Imran's girlfriend, Mandy. Ahmed Nawaz raped our survivor up at the Wrekin. Our survivor then told Mandy. Our survivor hadn't known that Ahmed Nawaz was having sex with Mandy at the time she confided in her. Ahmed Nawaz violently, orally raped our survivor and then urinated in her mouth as a punishment for confiding in Mandy. And then, Ahmed Nawaz killed Becky Watson for telling Imran that his best mate, Ahmed, was shagging his girlfriend behind his back. Ahmed Nawaz got just 3 years for killing Becky Watson. He didn't face justice for any of the violent rapes of young girls, including our survivor, leading up to the killing of Becky. And when he got out of jail after just 15 months, we have survivors who tell us he carried on violently raping young girls. Just listen to Becky Watson's mother.
A 20-year-old Pakistani man and his passenger had pulled outside the youth club and he switched his engine off. Becky was first leaning against the bonnet and it looked at first she was in conversation with him. She then sat on the bonnet and there was some sort of altercation.
Farmer Dave, why are you being so bitter all of a sudden? Is that because I wouldn't make you a boss?
He took it upon himself to start his engine and to drive over 200 metres, but he clinging on the side of the window. And this was in front of all her friends, and at some point she fell off and sustained a head trauma. No other injuries or marks. I arrived at the scene with her 12-year-old brother.
Yeah, crack arse open, whatever your name is.
Watch helplessly.
You're full of shite, you don't know the story, so just do yourself a favour, button it.
3.5 grueling
and if any of you knobheads
I was told that she was brain dead.
would
like
to voice your opinions to me in person, you may well get the chance on the 24th
that she's been left to say goodbye
of September this month, so yeah.
I read in the statements that the passenger kept telling the driver to slow down and pack it in. He did this in cold blood anger. It was no prank, only his pranks and still her. Because how dare a 13-year-old white girl not do as she was told and show him up in front of his friends. He got 3 years and served 15 months. The police never asked for a phone and they were fully aware of what happened 10 days prior and all the other times. And yet, the chief superintendent visited me within days of Becky's death and stated he did not want her death to be classed as a racial attack. I told him he needs to open his eyes, as there's something going on in this town and it involved Pakistani men and young girls and drugs. I never got to know Becky's full extent of her abuse. That chance was taken away. But the police confirmed in 2015, after a 3-year investigation following the Operation Chalice in Telford, that Becky was groomed at 11. And they have evidence on at least 2 occasions that she was trafficked to Birmingham and Manchester. I do not know who her perpetrators are, and most likely never will. But they did say the review investigation did highlight new perpetrators. Had Becky not been killed, I know in time she would have opened up, because I was never going to give up on her. I lived with the guilt and probably always will, but I never protected her from these monsters. But she was trying to protect her family. I know if she had lived, that she'd be standing here before you today as a survivor. But instead, she is a warrior, like all the survivors, only she's a warrior with wings. Thank you.
One of the first things the policeman said immediately after the killing of Becky was that he didn't want her killing to be classed as a racial matter. What? Why was that on the list of things to bring up with a grieving mother of a dead child? The judge said Ahmed Nawaz had snuffed out Becky's life, and Ahmed Nawaz got 3 years for killing her and was out of prison within 15 months. 15 months for the death of a 13-year-old child. We've had testimony on camera that he went on to continue raping girls after coming out of jail. Becky's mum might not know who her other abusers were, but Munchie's phone number was in Becky's phone when she was just 12 years old. Remember Munchie from episode 2? In fact, you don't have to look far to find evidence of muddle-headed thinking on the part of the police. And isn't it odd that the inspector in Operation Chalice, when talking to Channel 4, is worried about sensitivities to do with the race of the perpetrators? And when Lucy Lowe was murdered, as we saw in the Guardian headline, the police, they played down everyone. Seems more worried about the cultural sensitivities than they are about the young girls who are being trafficked, raped and murdered. So what did Telford Chief Superintendent Tom Harding have to say in 2018 about what's been happening on his patch? Oh, that's not good at all. He said that the sex crime claims were sensationalised, and a memo was sent around the police, saying most of the sex with these little children was consensual. You know, the 10, 11, 12-year-olds, consensual sex, Tom? Not really, mate. Now, that's not a good start for Tom Harding. This is 2018.
I'm not playing this down. What I'm saying is that for many years we've identified CSE as something that we're seeking to tackle. And I've had, in the last 2 years, I've had additional resources provided to me by the Chief Constable in PCC, because it's something that we really want to work hard on jointly with the local authority.
I'm going to translate that limp-wristed, mealy-mouthed political speak for you. What he's saying, number one, they're seeking to tackle child sexual exploitation. That's his intent. See, politicians are great at announcing their intent, but not so great at delivering results. In your case, Tom, results means criminals being banged up. Number two, in the last couple of years, they've had additional resources provided. He wants you to know his failure in the past is nothing to do with incompetence or corruption, which it is. Yeah. He wants you to know it's nothing to do with that. It's because he was short of resources. Number three, not resources to get you for traffic offences or anything like that. Resources to deal with child rape. Number three, he really wants to work hard on the problem, jointly with the local authority. More intent, and he wants you to know it's not just him who is failing, it's the local authority as well. Well, what does working hard or smashing child raping, drug dealing, Pakistani gangs look like? What does that look like? That's the question you're asking yourself. Have a look at this.
Like this.
In this photo, you will see Bugsy. Bugsy's our main alleged gang leader of rapists from episode 1. You'll see Crowy. Crowy is Munchie's brother-in-law, you know, Munchie from episode 2. The ones accused of raping little girls and drug dealing. They're the Benallies, that's their gang name. Now sitting down, here they are sitting down with various police leaders, including Tom Harding and the Police and Crime Commissioner. Tom Harding left West Mercia Police in 2020 and apparently took some of his best practice to Gwent. Newsflash, people. If he's an inadequate, clueless idiot in West Mercia, he'll be an inadequate, clueless idiot in Gwent. But that's what happens in the police, you see. If you're useless, you're reassigned. Now, in a world where terrorist attacks by followers of Islam are immediately labelled nothing to do with Islam, inquiry into the doctrines of Islam immediately labelled Islamophobic, and so-called non-hate crime incidents policing is used almost entirely to silence discussion of Islam. Look at Harry Miller's victory over the College of Policing. So, who are the Benallies?
We're all family, not friends round here. We stay loyal to the end round here. Someone tell me how the enemy's sleeping. It must be cowards that we're beefing. All their death threats, but we're still breathing. When we catch one and then we got section 18 him. GBH with intent round here. I might show you with the men round here. You give a fuck about your friends round here. Getting dragged out your friends round here.
In the last episode, we saw the police in Telford kneeling, taking a knee at the feet of Akib Khan, his hands on their heads, and Bobby Khan tweeting how the Benallies have got the police under control. It actually seems like that to the rest of the country. The police are under control of the Islamic community in Telford and every other city. The Benallies have got the police under control. Izar says the police want a truce. Who are the Benallies? These are the Benallies. Bugsy, Charlie, Munchie, Crowy, Izar, Akib, Akil. All of our so-called men who are alleged to have been involved in the rape of children in Telford in our previous episodes are Benallies. You might ask yourself, how and what are Telford Police doing to tackle this epidemic of Muslim rape gangs? This is what they're doing. This is the most senior ranking police officers from West Mercia Police. This gentleman is the Police Crime Commissioner. Next to him, or across from him, is the head of the police. This gentleman is his job to prevent sexual exploitation of children. Now, this is Bugsy from episode 1, the main child trafficker from Telford, standing directly next to, having his photo taken, directly next to the man whose job it is to prevent sexual exploitation of children. Now, you remember Munchie from episode 2? This is Munchie's brother, standing directly behind the Police Crime Commissioner. Do you have any faith that these officers are tackling these gangs? There is no way that their intelligence system does not tell them that they are drug dealers, they are gangsters, and they are trafficking children. But they do not care. They are more interested in taking their photos for diversity. I have tried to find pictures of the police sitting outside the church in Telford. I haven't been able to. Outside the Sikh temple, I haven't been able to. Outside the Hindu temple, I haven't been able to. All of these men, all of them, including him, are directly linked to gangs that rape children in Telford. And this is what your police force are doing. This is community policing at its dumbest. And it's a model that's being replicated across our country. If it was working, people like Bugsy, Charlie, Akil and Munchie, they would have had to answer by now for the multiple allegations made against them. But they haven't had to answer them. They haven't faced justice. And people have told us that some of these men have been abusing and exploiting young girls since the early 1990s. That's for over 40 years. If you remember a clip from episode 2, the police records on these matters go back 40 years. They passed, and I quote, 40 years worth of evidence to the independent inquiry. If these men had been pursued and prosecuted from the start, so many girls' lives would have been saved from misery. Don't get me wrong, there are good police in Telford. When one of our surveillance teams was arrested for supposedly harassing Akil Khan, a known Ben Ali drug dealer, 2 police officers told him in the police station, whatever you do, don't use the duty solicitor. The good coppers know there is corruption inside Telford police station. And this diversity-embracing community policing approach, shut up for the sake of diversity, as Naz Shah famously tweeted, be quiet for fear of being called racist, be quiet for fear of being called Islamophobe, well, it's either incompetence, stupidity or cowardice. Incompetence because the police intelligence system must hold information about the allegations and criminal activities of some of the men pictured here. Are these top police officers unaware of the information on their own systems? Stupidity. Because if these top police officers know of the criminal activities and the allegations against some of the men, are they really so stupid that they think cozying up for photos is an effective approach smashing gang-related crime in Telford? And cowardice, because the police in Telford are simply not equipped to tackle organised Islamic gangs that are running and ruining the streets of Telford by raping young children and flooding the streets with drugs. So the Telford police are frightened and incapable of confronting this evil. And if the police are frightened, the streets are lawless. God help every one of us if the police are frightened. And we're told Telford police are demoralised. I'll tell you what isn't good for morale. Letting your diversity-driven community policing bullshit stop you doing what you know is right. And I'll tell you what's good for morale. Solving crimes. Real crimes. Rape of children. Drug dealing. Locking up these monsters. That advice is for free, guys. And for the Home Office, you need to get a grip of this. Because it's not just Telford, and it's only going to get worse. As gangs are grounded in an ideology that doesn't recognise English law and democracy, gangs protected under the shelter of your diversity rainbows. As they expand into the power vacuum created by your limp policing, your policing paralysed by suicide cultural sensitivities. Well, we can't speak to Becky Watson, because Ahmed Nawaz killed her. But before we go and knock on anyone's door, let's listen to another of Ahmed's victims.
But I kind of have a different opinion now than I did before, because Shamil raped me, and then after that all these men literally took advantage of a rape victim, and I always said no, and they always convinced me round. So I think that's rape. I was there for 5 months, and they started raping me a month after I moved in. I went to the party. It was a flat in Wellington. There was about five of the men there, and there was 2 other women that were older than me, and they were both very drunk. And then there was a guy who I thought was a white guy, but that was Dave Asadi, so he was mixed race. I have said since that I actually wish that I was drunk, because it wouldn't have hurt so much if I was drunk. More warning signs. No sheet on a mattress. No sheet duvet cover on the duvet. And I'm going, oh, why isn't the bed made? Is that because you're a bachelor and you just don't ever make your bed? And he's like, yeah. So I was feeding him his own answers, so he didn't even have to answer. He convinced me to we were going to have sex, and then he convinced me to get naked, and then he wanted to, he suggested doggy style, so then I got into position, and while I was on all fours, instead of having normal sex with me, he raped me anally. I didn't know he was going to do it. He knew what he was about to do. He'd must have been planning it behind me before he did it, because when he forced it inside me, I pulled away because it was painful, and he was already ready for that, so he knew that I was going to pull away, and he just pushed his body into me, and just pushed his body into me until I got caught between the the headboard and his body. So my shoulders were all like crushed against the headboard, and I couldn't move. And I was screaming at him to stop, because at first I thought he'd just got the wrong hole by accident. But he carried on, and he didn't stop, and it was really painful, and he was really hurting me, and I smashed my head on the headboard, and I just literally I was pinned down until he had finished. And then as soon as he finished, he ran out of the room, and then Manny came in, and I was a bit like in shock, and a bit like trying to think, what do I do next? And I was just going to put my clothes back on. So when Manny came in, I was like looking for my clothes, and Manny was like sat next to me, and he put his arm around me, and he was going, "Why are you getting dressed?" After that, like, because I didn't think I could cope with anymore, and then they were like trying to imply that I was going to have to do more, and I was a bit. And the other girls were going in and out of the bedrooms as well, but they were really drunk, so they were like laughing and seemed okay. So I didn't know what was going on properly. And then the night went on for ages and ages. So that's when I met Dave. And Dave was just like filling me in. He was like, "What is a girl like you doing here in a place like this? This is where, like, do you know what Ahmed does? Ahmed finds these girls on the street. He just picks up random girls on the street, chats up random girls on the street. Yeah, Christopher, that's what I am doing, ignoring them. They've been amusing, but they've brings them to his party to have sex. So it's their fault. It's the girl's fault because they came to a party with somebody that they just met. So. Yeah, Dave was definitely on Ahmed's side, but he was just surprised that a girl like me was there, because from what he knew about me, I wasn't an idiot, so why did I get in the car with Ahmed? Like, the girls that normally get into the car with Ahmed are stupid girls, you know, so I think he was thinking along that line. So he told me that Ahmed brings these girls to the party, gets them drunk, and then has sex with them, but the way that Dave described it to me, it was definitely rape. So he told me that Ahmed, so he was telling me stories, and he was laughing and joking about it when he said it. He was saying like, girls come out of the room screaming and crying. So he was describing some really disturbing things to me. He said that Ahmed always rapes them anally, and brings the blood, always wears a condom, and brings out the condom to show to his friends in the at the party.
Yep, they certainly are. They're cockroaches.
And
they just need to be stamped on.
But Ahmed wanted to know that he'd rape me, so he'd say things like, in reply to that, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, it was really turning me on when you were screaming for me to stop." He had invited everybody into the room. All the men into the room while I was naked in bed, and I was really embarrassed, and I felt like trapped under the covers because I was in a state of shock anyway after being raped by him, and I was kind of I felt like I couldn't get out of the bed because I was naked otherwise, so like I felt trapped in the bed, but nothing happened at that point. But I didn't realise like how normal that was for them. I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So when Dave was like telling me he knew me and telling me that things about Ahmed and stuff, then I thought Dave would help me. So I sat next to him the whole time, and I wouldn't let anyone else talk to me. And he said he was going to take me home, so I got a bit excited about that. And because the thing is, I was going to escape anyway, but when he offered to take me home, I thought that was a better solution. I was going to leave. I thought we got up to go, and I thought we were going, but he just took me into one of the other rooms, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah, as I've said before, everybody, please like, share, show your support. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. More than merrier.
He sat me down and I knew what he wanted to do. And do you know what, I just gave up in my head because I thought, I just wanted to go home, and then so he just sat me on the bed and laid me down, and like literally I was like a statue, because I just wouldn't move unless I couldn't say no, but I just let him put me how he wanted me. And then I can't even say that we had sex, because he had sex with me, and I don't know, he's just one of those guys that would never comes, and he just had sex with me for ages, and I was just like, he probably wouldn't come, because I was like I was just like a stone cold zombie underneath him, he was used a condom, the condom dried out, I could feel it was all dry, and I wasn't enjoying it at all, like not that you're supposed to anyway, it was hurting and it was itching and it was horrible and it wouldn't finish, and you know, it started getting light outside. And I felt dead inside, honestly, because like, who would even put up with that? Like, there's no point to it. Like, I couldn't even say anything. I couldn't even complain. And it was taking ages to come, and he couldn't come, and he was frustrated about it, so it made me kneel underneath him, and then it was like wanking in front of me, and he still couldn't come, and the white guy that was there, he opened the door and saw me with him, and then they were taking the piss out of it afterwards, so it made me go back in there. He gave up in the end, and he made me go back into the living room with him.
This was Dave?
Yeah, Asadi. He said he was gonna take me home, and then he took me into a bedroom, and then like he was still saying he was gonna take me home, and he took me back into the living room.
This is yet another example. In this case, a child killer and alleged child rapist, Ahmed Nawaz, let out after 15 months for killing Becky Watson, continued to violently and anally rape young girls. They're the allegations. If the police and the justice system had done anything like the investigation we had done, Ahmed Nawaz would not have seen daylight for a very long time. But they didn't. They didn't do any investigation. They tried to cover up what had happened. They all failed in their duty to protect the vulnerable. Our justice system failed. It didn't work, and it doesn't work today. And as a result of its failures, innocent children continue to suffer. Let's see what Dave Asidi and Ahmed Nawaz have got to say.
Dave? Mate, I'm wondering if you can help me with some allegations about an old associate of yours called Ahmed.
Can you stop filming me, please?
I'm about an old associate of yours called Ahmed, mate.
I've seen your shit, mate.
Yeah.
On the telly, yeah.
So I want to ask you about an old associate.
Yeah, I know that name, yeah.
Yeah, you used to attend parties. You was at houses with Ahmed Nawaz. You was at houses with him.
Can you stop filming me?
Yeah, you was at houses, mate. I just want to see if you've got nothing to hide to answer the questions. Do you know Ahmed? What was your relationship with Ahmed? I know of him, yes.
Can I show you this? Can you stop for a second? I can show you this, yeah?
Can you stop filming that, please?
Yeah.
Stop, please.
Look, can you watch this? Can you watch this?
Why is he filming?
Can you watch this? Listen, listen to it. Give me the phone.
Can you stop filming?
Yeah, listen to it. All right, ready? Don't listen to me, because your response is needed. Your response is needed. Wait, just stop.
Choose to participate in. Can you stop filming?
Do you want to listen to what the girl's got to say? She's talking about you. She's talking about you. She's talking about you. So listen to what she's got to say. So stop and listen to what she's got to say.
Would help me. So I sat next to him.
So she's just been anally raped by Ahmed in the house.
That's bad. That's real bad.
But you've sat down next to her. You said you're going to take her home.
I got a bit excited about that.
You said you were going to take her home from this house after she got raped.
That sounds probably. I don't know who's been raped and who's not.
But do you remember her at the house? You said you were going to take her home.
I recall her face. Yeah.
You recall her face, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, carry on listening.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
Carry on listening, because you're a witness to what happened. Just stop. Stop for a sec. Stop. Just stop for a sec.
I don't want to be
No, just stop for a sec. Okay, listen to what she says. Listen to what she says.
I was like.
She was excited because you were going to take her home.
I was so disappointed.
But then what? Listen. You recognise her, don't you?
Yeah, I do recognise her.
Do you recognise her?
And he sat me down and I knew what he wanted to do.
Me?
She's all about me, yeah?
They're in one of these parties with Ahmed, right?
I've never been to any parties.
You just said you recognise her and you're aware of her.
I know, she is, yeah. I remember her, yeah.
You do remember?
And
Simple question then, Dave. Did you rape her after Ahmed Nawaz raped her?
No, sir.
sat me on the bed and laid me down and like literally I was like...
Was you at this party? Was you at a house with her?
I've never been at any party.
Was you at, not a party, a house where Ahmed Nawaz was raping girls?
I just...
No.
Your comments were that he takes girls there regularly.
My comments?
Put me how he wanted me.
You know, Charlie, he's present in this house as well.
Is he? Okay.
I don't know, he's just one
To be honest, then...
He wanted to rape her. You didn't let him rape her.
I don't...
So he wanted to rape her.
Had sex with me for ages.
But listen, it seems like you had a problem ejaculating. Ejaculating.
Something underneath him.
What was your relationship with Ahmed then?
Relationship.
What were these house gatherings about where girls were taken in out of rooms and raped?
I don't fucking know.
You don't know? Well, Charlie was there. You know Charlie? You know Charlie because Charlie's cousin is the main rapist and their family were the main rapists from this town.
Okay.
His uncle Keith, Asian Keith, is now him and his sons.
Probably speak to them.
I'm not speaking to anyone who've got allegations against you. You're one of those people, Dave. What would you have to say?
Nothing.
Well, look at the pain in her face. Look, she's crying.
Yeah. I feel deeply for her and traumatic experience, but unfortunately, it's got nothing to do with me. So can you stop fucking filming?
Why would she be saying that you were there? Why would she be saying that you raped her? Explain that. Very clear, she knows you. David Seedy. That's you. You're in this house.
So what you're saying is I'm
not saying. I'm saying that there's girls. You was at a house. Would you recognise her from the house? You've already said that.
I recognise the face.
You recognise her from the house? Okay. Yeah. You were present with Charlie. Yeah. Charlie's cousin and family are the main Pakistani rape gang from this town. You know Ahmed?
I don't think so, mate.
What don't you think?
The main rapist.
Asian Keith and his sons.
Unfortunately, it's got nothing to do with me.
So why would this girl name you? Why? Were you in these houses?
Yeah, listen, mate, I've sorted this out with the police. Okay, and to be honest, nothing to do with me.
Was you present in houses with Ahmed and young girls?
Houses?
Was you present in the house with Ahmed and young girls?
I think I was there once.
You was there once? This time, with her?
That time when she was there, but I never fucking...
And that time when she was there, she was anally raped by Ahmed. She came out of the room, she was upset.
Okay, maybe so, but I don't know fuck all about that.
But you laughed, because you said he always takes girls in there. You said he always comes out and shows the blood. He always comes out and shows the blood. What was the idea of the house gathering then? What was it? What was it? If there was girls going in out of different rooms with men, and men all one by one.
Well, my friend used to live, my friend lives there.
Which friend?
From Charlie, I used to be friends with Charlie. Okay, and I was just simply going to see him. There was no party or...
Was there girls getting taken in out of rooms?
No.
No. I was working at the time, and I got there. To be honest, I used to go and see him after work. So I think anything might have happened, definitely happened before.
So you're saying this girl's just randomly making up?
No, I'm not saying she's making up. I'm saying I wasn't fucking there. That's what I'm saying. And maybe she met me around that time zone. But to be honest, no, I don't participate in anything like that, mate. I don't appreciate you not asking me if I would like to be filmed.
This is your right to reply?
Yeah, I'm replying. I've replied. I've told you nothing to do with me. I don't rape girls. Nothing to do with anything.
What's your relationship with Ahmed?
We friend of a friend. A long time ago. When I was young, basically.
Okay, let me ask you another thing then. So, friend of a friend. So, you were aware at the time that he was in, that you were associating with him, that he'd killed a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, I heard about.
He'd already killed her
off the grapevine. Yeah.
Who he was sexually assaulting and abusing as well. Yeah. And then you're in a house with him with other girls.
No.
You've just said you was. You remembered and said you was there with other girls.
Once. Yeah, there's one time.
Once you was there.
There was some girls there, but
there's some girls there.
No fucking sexual activity whatsoever. No rapings, nothing like that. To be honest, I'm an innocent man. I do not wish. I've asked nicely, move your cameras from my face. I don't want to be associated with stuff like this.
Unfortunately, you are associated.
How?
Then you're in a house with him and other girls. Girls who are being brought in and out of bedrooms to be raped. They're the allegations. In quite horrific circumstances and quite detailed circumstances when you listen to the detail. Do you want to watch that video again for what she says?
I don't want to watch it, to be honest.
You don't?
I know already for a fact. I haven't raped anybody ever in my life.
Okay.
Ever.
Bye, David.
And listen, I don't know.
Okay, pull the camera off him.
I've done nothing wrongly. I do not wish to be filmed like this.
I'm putting a documentary together. This is part 4 of the Rape of Britain.
I've seen some of your
I've done
stuff, mate.
So I've done investigation.
I think it's fucking horrific what's been going on.
Well, you've admitted you was in the house with Ahmed.
Yeah, one time.
For these parties. When I say parties,
I've heard about this. I've been.
Well, you would have heard about it because Charlie, your mate, you go around to see.
No,
his family were the main rape gang family in his town.
That's nothing that I know about, to be honest.
No, it's been all over the news.
It's not something that really people gonna go around bragging about, is it?
It's been all over the news, national news,
things like that. So I'll never turn up to any convention like that, to be honest. There's places in Telford where they can go for parties like that. You go and chuck them a few quid and get your fucking hands away. But the thing is...
But you remember this girl specifically?
Yeah, I remember her face, I know.
You remember being in a house?
Yeah.
You remember Ahmed being there? But you can't recollect what you were doing there?
I was definitely doing nothing out of the ordinary, nothing sexually. It was nothing like that. On the night of...
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Okay, mate.
Thank you.
Please, stop filming, please. I don't want to talk to you without...
I want to talk about the camera. I
want to speak to you.
I want
to just tell you... I'm a family man, and look, I've been doing this now for fucking 20 fucking years. I've got a daughter who's 11. I don't condone action like this. I never have.
Do you think maybe you should have... I know, and you know what's going on, yeah? So don't you think you should have given evidence against Ahmed Moaz?
I heard what's going on from the police. I didn't hear what's going on from these people.
I'm here to ask you questions. I believe the public are going to watch the allegations from this lady.
So I'm going to be on this documentary now.
You are. You're in episode 4.
You're serious?
You're an associate of Ahmed Moaz. You're an associate of Charlie.
I thought I cleared this up with the police. I was.
Do you know how many men have got away with raping children in this town? From the police.
I've seen your documentary. It scares me.
You've been watching the film, Tony?
I have been watching your stuff, mate, because I've got a daughter at home. I'm quite.
Not because you were friends with one of the main rapists.
No, fuck. I don't know.
And you're aware of parties that you've attended.
No. That was a pure accident. I think some bad stuff was going on because I found out from police.
Oh, you found out from police? You had no idea at the time? I didn't know. When you hang around and associate with all these men, you had no idea what they were up to?
No, I didn't know what their agenda was whatsoever, but I can tell you now, I'm not friends with any of these people now. I was young, I have no judgment, do you know what I mean? Like, I was just there, that's it, but I wasn't there.
You was just there.
Stuff was going on, like I used to go and see him for a cup of tea regularly, once a week, yeah? I used to go and see him for a cup of tea, and I went to see him.
you know, and they brought girls around. There was girls there one occasion, and like some bad stuff must have happened. Nothing to do with
How many girls were there on the occasion you were there?
I can't remember. It's going back about 15, 20 years.
Do you remember how intoxicated the girls were?
I can remember not a lot, to be honest, about the night, but there wasn't that intoxicated. There was like...
How many girls were there? How old were the girls? Bearing in mind I spoke to them.
I don't know, I wasn't chatting them up, to be honest.
You wasn't chatting them up?
No.
So you were in a house, you didn't think it was strange there's underage girls in there?
I did think it was a bit peculiar, so I was sort of saying, who the fuck are these people, you know?
What was the answer? Because they were getting taken in out of rooms.
I don't know about that, out of rooms, and I don't know anything about that, to be honest. There's places we can go around here, everybody knows where it is as well. For that
doesn't change the fact that vulnerable young girls were taken in out of houses.
Yeah,
you were president, and at the time you were president of the house.
Yeah,
and there's allegations against you.
I wasn't there, to be honest, when that horrible stuff was going on.
You wasn't there.
Can we walk?
Fine.
For folks now, I've done nothing wrong, mate, and I just got to let you know, Tommy, that is, you got this one wrong.
Well, your answer will be in the episode, okay?
Will it?
What you're saying will go into your answer here.
I don't want to be associated.
I know you don't want to be associated, but what you've done so far is you recognise the girl, you remember being there, you know Ahmed, you know their cousins are rapists, and you know the young girls have been taken in out of rooms at a house that you were present at, and you were a bit confused about it.
Because I got into a bit of trouble over that stuff that night, and I think...
What trouble did you get into over that?
With the police, like, they basically come out and say, what happened this one? I said, nothing's happened. Not with my presence, nothing happened while I was there. Whatever the badness happened must have happened without me being there.
Are you saying that you was totally unaware, after Ahmed Nawaz had already killed a 13-year-old child, you were totally unaware of what those men were, crimes they were committing as a family? Are you saying you were
totally unaware of that stuff? Yeah, 100%. This is
I find that difficult to believe when you're in a house where they're bringing in girls. You was in the house, you admit that, where they were bringing girls, underage girls, in their bedrooms, that you didn't realise anything was happening. Is that what you're saying?
It's still filming.
Is that what you're saying? You was in a house, Ahmed Nawaz, their cousins, all the rape gang, were bringing young girls.
I'm unaware of them.
You said you was aware you were there, and they were bringing young girls in our bedrooms, but what you're saying is you were totally unaware of what was happening to the girls in the bedrooms.
No, I didn't see the girls coming in their bedrooms or anything like that. I didn't see anything like that.
No?
To be honest, no. I don't condone action like that. I'm not totally not into that stuff, to be honest. You know. Can you stop filming, though?
They're filming.
It's not.
They're filming.
Security, you know?
It is, mate.
This sort of stuff, it's nothing to do with me. You know?
It's nothing to do with you, but you have already confirmed you were present at the house.
Yeah, but that's not my fault. That's nothing to do with rape and girls and young girls. I just used to go there anyways. I used to go to share a cup of tea with my old friend Charlie from back in the days when I was young. I went there the one day. Yes, there was a few girls there. They wasn't underage. To my knowledge, they looked old. They looked old enough, to be honest, to me.
So this girl here, you're saying she's totally making every single thing up. Is she?
No, I'm not saying that. I believe her, to be honest, but the thing is...
you believe her? Well, the allegation is you took her into a room after Ahmed Nawaz raped her and you raped her.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't rape her one bit.
Did you have sex with her?
Listen.
Did you have sex with her?
No, listen.
Did you do anything sexual?
I'm not answering your questions, mate.
Did you do anything sexual?
We can sort
Simple question. Did you do anything sexual?
We can sort this out.
Dave, did you do anything sexual with her?
We can sort this out.
Did you do anything sexual with her?
Simple.
Did you do anything sexual with her? Answer the question. If you've got nothing to hide, did you do anything sexual with her? Did you do anything sexual with her? Yes or no?
Listen,
simple answer, yes or no. Why are you dodging that question? Did you do anything sexual? Did you do anything sexual with her?
I've answered you.
Did you do anything sexual with her?
Why are you asking me these questions? A bit personal.
Did you have sex with her?
No, I'm not answering your questions.
You're not answering my questions. We've got to answer. Say that, Dave. Say that. Because she was in a room after being raped by Ahmed Nawaz. So, and I'm asking you a simple question. Did you that evening have sex with her?
Well, why do you want to know who I've had sex with?
You're in a house with vulnerable women.
Yeah, I didn't know that they're vulnerable women or who's vulnerable and who's not vulnerable. I went in the house one time, I've told you.
And did you have sex with her?
I've told you.
Did you have sex with her?
Listen, I've had sex plenty of times.
Did you rape that girl in the house?
No way.
Did you have sex with that girl in the house?
No way.
Did you have sex with that girl in the house?
No.
Is your opinion that there wasn't rape because your opinion is it there was consensual?
Consensual, okay.
Did you have sex with her in the house?
I've never had sex, that's not consensual. And
Did you have sex with her in that house?
Listen, no, I've never had sex, that's not consensual. Let's see if I've got sex.
Okay, Dave, thank you. All right, mate.
Becky Watson because she was angry about for repeating that you had raped in man's girlfriend. Well, that allegation, you took a young girl up to the region, a school child up to the region, you ejaculated in her face and you urinated in her face. What do you have to say to that allegation? I need to ask you a question. I had multiple young girls, school children on camera. I had multiple young girls who alleged you were involved in raping them and prostituting. Even after coming out of jail after Becky Watson, you continued to anally rape children. Your thing was anal, wasn't it? I had multiple young children who name you, who did not know each other. You're involved in the prostitution of raping young children. How many people in here know that this man is a 13-year-old child? How many people, unsuspecting people, are sitting in these businesses eating food in your premises and they don't know the serious allegations that are put against you, Ahmed? What do you have to say? Tell me what you have to say. How many people here know that there are allegations against you for anal rape of children? You took a young girl up into the woods and you urinated in her face. That's the allegation. What do you have to say?
You're just making things up.
You're going to see the videos of all of these victims. You're going to see
you're racist.
Okay.
And you know
racist.
You're just making
actually, Ahmed, you are the racist because you are the man.
You are making things up.
Actually, Ahmed, you are the racist because the girls tell us you call them dirty gullah. Is that right? Dirty gullah, white slacks. That's the term you use to refer to these children. What do you have to say? Okay, so how long did you serve in jail for the murder of Becky Watson? 15 months. 15 months in jail. Now let him go. Let him go, bro. How many people?
Thanks for joining us this afternoon, everybody. Please like, share if you're new to my channel. Please subscribe. Put the word out there. The more the merrier.
All naming you as being involved in raping.
Excuse me, please. Do you think this is the right thing? Is the right time to...
I think that unsuspecting customers in towns like this need to know of your history, your past, and the allegations against you.
You're just making things up. Carry on.
Becky Watson. What was your friendship with Becky Watson? She was 13 years old.
You're just going around, just making things up.
Mate, did you think the murder of Becky Watson only last 15 months?
You're just going around making things up.
That's all you do. Do you think 15 months?
No, look what you're doing. You got all these guys. Yeah, just well, look at these guys.
Yeah, anyway, that's it.
Yeah. No, you put these guys, yeah, and just making things up and pressurizing.
Mate, I'm just here to ask you simple questions.
You pressurizing.
This is your right to reply. This is your right to reply.
Can I ask you one question?
You can ask me one question.
Do you think this is the right time to just comment?
Mate, I need to ask him questions.
No, you're not listening to what I said.
Do you understand that young girls in their school uniforms, a young child was taken out to the woods and was urinated in her face? I don't think there's a right time to ask these questions or right now.
You're making things up.
No, I'm not making things up. You're going to see the allegations after girl after girl after girl.
But the police, they come to arrest me. You're just making things up.
So you think because all of you got away with it?
Oh yeah, we all got away with it.
Did you kill Becky Watson?
What are you on about?
She's dead.
You just carry on.
She's not here anymore, bruv.
You just
her mum and dad will never see her again.
Look at these guys.
Her mum and dad will never see her again.
Look at these guys just making.
What were you doing hanging around with 13-year-old school children? You put her on your car bonnet and you raced off because you were angry because you had been sleeping with your best friend Imran's underage girlfriend.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, but just to let you know that when the full version of this documentary is released later, it will also be posted on my channel.
So this is Ahmed Nawaz. Unsuspecting customers need to be aware of where these premises are, who these men are. You're going to hear allegation after allegation of rape, of prostitution, anal rape, even after coming out of jail. Ahmed, what you don't understand is you're a star of episode 3 and 4. Ahmed Nawaz, you're going to. This is your opportunity if you like to reply. Do you want to reply anything?
You don't have to reply.
You don't have to reply. Come on, let's go.
Okay, just move.
Everyone, you need to know what these men have been up to, yeah? Sorry, it's late. It's Tommy Robinson. Just giving you the heads up. We just caught up with Ahmed Nawaz in a restaurant in London. So we were surprised, very surprised. So all the customers in the restaurant to hear of who he is and the allegations against him. I just thought I'd give you the heads up.
not getting arrested? How? You've got witness allegations of rape and they still don't get arrested. Until their businesses are closed down, these men are operating in this town. Make sure you share who they are, you share their businesses. Episode 5, we're going after 3 more businesses in this city that have been used to prostitute children. The police. In episode 5, I spent 12 to 18 months getting to know a survivor who didn't live in the UK. I flew her into the UK to meet with me. I went excited because she is a wealth of information against these gangs. When I got to the airport, armed police approached me in the airport. It's all on camera. They said, "Who are you meeting here?" I said, "Why?" They said I had to tell them who I was meeting there. I waited for 2 hours. The girl didn't come. I went outside, I said on video, "I'm disappointed, I don't understand why she's not here." I've been in contact with her because it was at the start of COVID, so we flew her to another country to then get her into the UK. The police arrested her at the airport for malicious communications for naming the men that raped her. This girl we have recordings, historical recordings from 8 and 9 years ago of the woman begging the police for help, begging them for safety. They said she was not in danger. Our friends moved her. This is going back 8 years, yeah? Our friends moved her. The next day, her mother was violently beaten on her doorstep by gangs of Muslim men. What Telford police have done purposely, they purposely leave the victims in vulnerable situations without protection because they don't want them to be witnesses for court cases. The girl was on the phone begging. We've got the police officer's name. The woman from the council comes on the phone and says, "I'm sorry, PC," and she names the police officer, says, "You are not in danger." This is a tactic used by this police force. We also have, which we've been trying to do, but the police haven't cooperated, we have a woman who is a victim of modern day slavery. She's forced to chop drugs from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. She would be a key witness to take down these gangs. But the police are not interested. They just want to lock her up for the crime of being a victim. And also, I thought Lucy Allen as an MP was quite good on this issue. No, she's not. So I contacted Lucy Allen and I said, "I've had a woman come to me. She's a vulnerable woman. She's trapped. She has nowhere to turn. Can I put her in direct contact with you? She needs someone to fight for her." She says, "Yeah, put her in contact with me, but you stay out of it, Tommy." So then I get the girl, I sit down with the girl, we contact Lucy Allen. Lucy Allen's response was, "Where do you live?" When she said where she lived, she said, "Oh, that's not in my area. Contact this other random dude, this other bloke." After building up her confidence, I then sent Lucy Allen an email straight away saying, "Thank you, you're now starring in our documentary when we're looking at the council because you've not helped her." Within 20 minutes she contacted the girl. But the girl is still trapped. And these police are not interested in taking down the gangs. You'll all see it. If she ends up going to jail, she's not a drug dealer. She's not profiting. She's a slave at the hands of Pakistani drug gangs in this town. But we also have an episode on the council, and the next episode, it'll heat up because we're going back after their main gang lads. So it'll be interesting. If you're one of the people that putting that together, I know I get a bit disappointed by the viewings on some of them, but we are creating a box set which will then promote the box set. It will always be there. There'll be 8 series in Telford. If you're one of the people that subscribe to Urban Scoop, you make it possible. You make us have security for hotels, for travel, for getting around the country. It's the most important work I've ever done. And do you know what? Do you know when I approach them men, I can see the colour drain out of their faces. And I think, I know, like when I see them, it's satisfying for me. It's really satisfying for me. Because I look and think, yeah, your life's changed, bruv. Yeah? Your life's changed. And the way you're feeling now is how these women feel for decades. So, for me to have the ability and the chance, because I thrive on it, to go and find these scumbags and make sure they're famous. I thank everyone for giving me that opportunity as well, yeah? I think the next one, we'll release a date for the next one, but we're also giving a presentation in the European Parliament, and I'm going to make it about Islamic immigration. And you see, these men and the crimes they're committing, we just keep importing more and more and more. So the mindset, I'm excited about it, because when I get an opportunity like that, whether it be Oxford University, when I've got a chance to put a presentation together with evidence, with statistics, with numbers, with how they think in their minds, then yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good one. So just just thanks everyone for taking the time to come here as well. Yeah, thank you everyone. I also, because it's trying to do one thing at a time, and do you know if you watch the episode with Sarah, the venue come under attack. The venue that was going to be used as a retreat, their family members were harassed. They pulled the function on it, and the men that were doing it, I have found out everything about them. Yeah, I know who they all are. And that is work in progress, because I'm going to expose every one of you. Do you know it's a hope not hate operation to discredit rape victims? Hope not hate are working along with other men. I've got who they all are. We put trackers on, we know their operation, yeah? They are paid agitators. Their job is to discredit victims of rape. That's their job, yeah? And that's what they're doing. And that has happened to these women for 20 years. They've been discredited, not believed. I believe every one of them. That's why we've got this platform, so they can tell their stories. But to Clown World and all the other scumbags, I'm going to expose every one of you. Right? You are working, you are getting paid. I know where you work. You are using your company time to attack victims of rape. Attack victims of rape. That's what you're doing. And everyone in your neighbourhood's going to know who you are, guys.
Hello! Nice to see you all. Bit stuck for words now. I'm not used to being on the stage.
Go on, girl.
Thank you for all of your support, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All of the donations that you've made. Just ignore the little trolls. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. It's off my ass, to be honest. We will take them down. That's my next mission. So thank you all, and I'll see you all again.
I think, do you know, because I know Sarah's not saying there, do you know the effect they have, these men? The effect they have. They take little pieces, bearing in mind that we do interviews that are 3 or 4 hours long. They take little pieces from the interview and they try and search for something to discredit the woman. Yeah, that's what they do. So they're having to read, not only courageous enough to tell their story, but scumbags, English scumbags, paid for by Hope Not Hate as an operation whose job it is to attack these women. Yeah? And everyone, that's why I know I'm going to find you. Yeah, I know where you are. But when I get round to it, everyone's going to know that your job is to attack victims of rape. And the reason that so many of these women didn't come forward in the first place, the reason it was hidden for so long, is because they weren't believed. They weren't believed. So they find the courage to speak out, and these scumbags go after them and attack them and try and discredit them in every way. They're not going after the men. They're not even talking about these men. These men who have been exposed as raping and torturing children. They're not even going after them.
Absolute scumbags.
So it frustrates me. A lot frustrates me in a minute, but yeah, how is there not a revolution in this country when you hear what's happening to our women? It's like, how is there only this many people here? How is it that people don't care? I just don't get it. I just think you do not care. Listen to what they've gone through. There's a 13-year-old kid in this town who's been murdered. Yeah, no one cares. The man's walking around the street. No one gives a shit. It's insane. We have become such a selfish nation of people who do not care. No one even wants to comment about it. They should be getting chased out of this town every bloody day. Instead, they're running it. And yeah, we can. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And Yeah. I'll see you soon.
One more thing. As he just said, we lost the retreat, which that meant a lot to me. And the week that we lost the retreat, I just started supporting a man. He's in trauma as we speak. It's absolutely a horrendous story that I can't go into. But he really needed that place. So if anybody out there has got anything that can help us, where we can possibly do a bit of therapy for this person, or then please just help us, because I can't do this on my own. Thank you, Elle. You're a star. But yeah, please, if you can help, please do help. Thank you. And a big round of applause for Tommy.
Yeah, Morag Hansen, thank you for sharing.
How passionate is Richard's speeches as well? Go on, Richard. Well, we've seen it all today, haven't we? And I think the police in Telford could take a lesson from Tommy Roberts on how to interview someone. I mean, poor David, completely folded under questioning. So maybe the police need to get David Asidi back in and ask him a few more leading questions and see if he confesses to raping one of our brave survivors. Let's get David Asidi nicked. The reality of what you've seen today, this is the most harrowing film that we have made. This is a life and death situation that these girls face. And I'm going to say something now which will shock you. I was talking to a survivor yesterday, and she told me that she'd been trafficked to Birmingham. She'd been raped in the house that she was trafficked to. She went into the bathroom of this house in Birmingham to get herself cleaned up. And lying in the bath in that house in Birmingham was the body of a little girl. How many of the daughters of England that have disappeared without trace? How many of them have been murdered by this vile, disgusting Pakistani Muslim mafia? It needs to be taken down, and the people standing behind you on the horses in the high-vis vests, they need to do their jobs. They need to get these guys arrested and locked up. See you all in the next demo.
That's it. You alright, mate? It's alright, brilliant. I think it's just raging. I think it's just in time before it starts raining. You reckon? Yeah. Can you do me a favour? Can you just hold that up and just facing it? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's right. Right, well that's it everybody. Thank you for joining me. All those, and even my lovely trolls out there. Big kiss to you all. Big kiss to all my trolls. Yeah, thanks for joining us anyway. And what can I say? See you on the next one. But when you full-length footage or full-length video of the Rape of Britain 4 is out soon, I will be posting that on my channel, so stay tuned. Like I say, please like, share. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe for more. Thank you. Goodbye. God bless.